Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, she lost the race for Attorney General, but she has a lot to say. Sigal Chattah joins us for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Pro Group Management offers workers' comp services to a growing number of industries. As businesses grow and change with the times, the need for a solid workers' comp program must be flexible and up-to-date. The evolving nature of regulations can make staying ahead of complex tasks challenging. But Pro Group Management simplifies the work so your industry can move forward and succeed. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Event Center sits at the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. 2 floors of meeting and event space are ideal for groups and conventions. Stay in one of 200 luxurious rooms and suites. Brand your event throughout the property. Flexible event spaces make for easy planning and personalization. Take over the entire hotel with a full buyout option.
Nevada Newsmakers Studio is located at the headquarters of the Nevada Trucking Association. Motion and purpose are a truck's greatest virtue.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're pleased to welcome back to the program Sigal Chattah. She's an attorney, and of course she ran for Attorney General of the great state of Nevada. Did not win, but despite that, she is happy to come back on the program, and we're pleased to have you. First of all, before we even start getting into questions, I want to say thank you for running, because it's so important that people run for office, and it's so difficult to get people to run for office these days because of how tough the campaigns are. So it doesn't matter to me whether somebody's a Democrat, Republican, Independent, or whatever. I'm grateful that they go in and fight the fight. So thank you for doing that.
Well, it was a pleasure. It was definitely a labor of love. And I had a lot of fun doing it.
All right, so let me ask you, what was different in running the race than you thought going in? Because everybody goes in idealistically, but then you hit the realities of the campaign trail and the campaigns and the opposing campaign. What surprised you?
You know, coming from an adversarial profession, which is the legal profession, and as a litigator, I definitely knew that my opposition would be, or my adversary would be, the incumbent. What shocked me was the adversaries and the enemies I made in the Republican Party that became my adversaries. And it was almost like having to fight members of my own party, which I will tell you, a few people warned me that that would happen before I tossed my name into the race. I was very well advised that Republicans eat their own, and and that's something that I had an inclination of knowing, but the gravity of it, I really was blinded. But as the campaign progressed and as I made it through the primary, I realized that the platform that I ran on, Sam, was really about public corruption and eradicating public corruption in the state of Nevada. And I made a promise that no matter where public corruption was, I would find it, I would investigate, I would litigate, and I would indict. And that caused a lot of consternation to a lot of people. And because I promised to do it in a nonpartisan manner, I was targeted by by many that were really worried about me getting into office.
I recall, of course, we moderate Republican and Democratic debates as part of Nevada Newsmakers. And it was interesting when I did one of your debates with Red Move in Northern Nevada. The audience loved you. They're a very conservative group. If somebody would have taken a poll and that would have been election night, you would have won by a mile. Were you surprised that your campaign against corruption didn't resonate better with the general public?
I don't know that it didn't resonate better. I think the public is hungry for transparency, and that's something that I promised. And look, Sam, I wouldn't change my narrative in a million years. I love that message. I ran to be that different kind of candidate. I wasn't going to be your typical politician that's going to feed you all these, rainbows and unicorns. I ran for the office of Attorney General in order to provide the public that transparency and provide the public that ability to hold their public officials accountable. And there's a lot of people that told me, you should have kept your mouth shut and just gotten into office and then done what you planned on doing. But look, I'm a trial lawyer. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. And the public really, really appreciated that candor.
Unfortunately for your campaign, it didn't result in you being the victor, but you did get a substantial amount of voters. The financial cost, did it surprise you how much it takes to run a campaign for Attorney General in the state of Nevada?
I think this round, it was an extraordinarily high amount. We know from the numbers that we saw during the campaign, during the general, that there was over $10 million spent just on broadcasts and OTT, which is an incredible amount of money. So that was surprising to the extent at how much they were willing to spend against me. And, and the irony of ironies is when they spent $10 million against me, they made sure that I became a household name in every home in Nevada, and business is booming. So, I'm just the type of person that looks at that silver lining. Yes, I didn't win the Attorney General office, but business is booming, and I couldn't spend $10 million in 2 decades of my career to promote my name.
Yes, to say the least, it certainly is a great publicity machine. At the end of the day, there was a lot of money that came in from out of state. Did that surprise you in the sense that, the national opinion of attorney generals in terms of the fact that they potentially can step up to be governor, did that surprise you at all of how much out of state money came in?
Well, it surprised me to the extent that I was quite shocked at how much out of state money came pouring in versus how much Ford was raising here in Nevada. There were the typical people that the typical corporations like the hotels and so on and so forth. But I was actually very shocked at how much support he didn't have by local, when I say local, domestic Nevada, versus how much he had to raise nationally, because Nevada was at play. He is very high in the Democrat AG Association. They did not want to lose Nevada. And again, my platform was public corruption, and that scared a lot of people. A lot of people are dodging indictments because I'm not in office. And, and that's the truth of the matter.
Now, you did not object to the results of the election. So were you comfortable that voter integrity was maintained throughout the state?
Look, I didn't object to the results of the election because, one of the obstructions that my campaign faced was, a disqualified candidate that requested he be removed from the ballot while we litigated the case. And he alone drew 21,000 votes, over 21,000 votes. So to question the integrity of the election, yes, there are anomalies. And do I have my suspicions? Yes, but I'm not going to object to elections. I always said that I would accept the elections as they came.
Do the tone coming out of Republicans now in the state, including very conservative Republicans, is that the biggest problem in this election was that because of the election deniers and concerns about voter integrity, that a huge amount of Republicans stayed home and didn't vote. So it was kind of the opposite of what happened in 2014 when the Democrats stayed home. Do you agree with that?
I don't agree with that. I think the obstruction and what precluded Republicans from coming out to vote was the incessant smear campaigns against half the state ticket. I call it collateral damage, but, take my campaign off the table. You had the attacks against Michelle Fiore, the attacks against Jim Marchand. And in my opinion, these are the three most important positions in the state, are the treasurer, the secretary of state, and the attorney general. So the incessant smearing of half the ticket, I think, created a chilling effect on Republican voters coming out, and that chilling effect was the fact that Republican voters sat at home and said, geez, we're seeing all these commercials. We're seeing, Reno Gazette Journal, we're seeing Las Vegas Review Journal run these attacks on half the ticket. And the collateral damage was candidates like Drew Johnson, April Becker, Sam Peters. This was really a year where Republicans should have won, but you had this collaborative effort between Democrats and, and some of the establishment Republicans that they're the ones that cost Nevada the Republican, seats. And it's tragic. It's tragic. It really is.
I thought Drew Johnson did an amazing job. I mean, coming so close. That was really remarkable. I mean, it's been years since there was a Republican on the Clark County Commission.
Well, that was Stavros. The same could be said about Stavros Anthony as well. So yeah, I agree. I think April Becker did an outstanding job. I think Joey Paulos did an amazing job. We had great candidates that I think because of this collaborative effort, whether, I think that there was a lot of consultants behind that. I think that obviously I call them the Nevada version of the Lincoln Project. They were behind that. And what that does is for the person sitting at home that doesn't have this insider baseball knowledge, they're sitting at home and they're saying, gosh, I mean, half our ticket is being slammed, true or false. It is going to dissuade Republican voters from voting. And, it really is heartbreaking to me, heart-wrenching to see that some of these first-time candidates that really cared and came from the private sector, they were collateral damage. And I blame wholly, what I call the Nevada Lincoln Project and the consultants that were behind this collaborative effort.
Do you want to explain for those that may not know what the Lincoln Project is?
So the Lincoln Project, we could call them rhinos. We could call them, the more moderate Republicans that really came out against Trump and the Trump establishment and everything, the ideology. And what they did was they caused a lot of damage in the 2020 election. And I equate the group of people that did the same thing here in Nevada, Nevada's version of the Lincoln Project, because what they really did was they spearheaded this antagonistic position against three candidates. It was myself, it was Michelle, and it was Jim. And using false narratives. Look, I was never an election denier. The first interview I gave, I came out very clearly that, I believe that the 2020 election was won, that I didn't have any issues with the 2020 election. But what happened was you had one person take that, parlay it, and all of a sudden I'm being lumped in as an election denier when that was never an issue. And I think that narrative was simply perpetuated over and over. And we were all called unhinged election deniers, and it was the greatest fallacy.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. I have lots more to ask you. We're talking with Sigal Chattah. She ran for Attorney General in the great state of Nevada. Did not win, but she certainly is not going away. We'll be right back after this timeout.
Ring in the holidays with $350,000 big holiday extravaganza at Carson Valley Inn. Over 1,000 winners. Weekly cash, free play, and up to $10K in cash every Saturday. And 2 grand prize drawings. Win up to $20,000 in cash. 'Tis the season for winning big at the Carson Valley Inn.
With Nevada's only transplant center and verified burn center, the science is here. With award-winning cardiologist and the state's only dedicated heart failure clinic, the talent is here. With Nevada's most advanced robotic surgery, the technology is here. And with the Silver State's only designated pediatric trauma center, hope is here. All because we are here. UMC.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
Oh, what fun it is to win during the $100,000 Christmas giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Up to $17,000 in cash and free play giveaways each week, and over $20,000 in giveaways on New Year's Eve, including up to $10K in cash. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Sigal Chattah. She's an attorney. She ran for Attorney General of the great state of Nevada, did not win, but wanted to come on and have a post-election discussion, which I'm delighted about. Were you, for a regular person who's not an attorney or a boxer, the attacks that were made on you in this political campaign were horrendous. Were you prepared for those kind of attacks? Being called a racist, even though you have, a Yemenite Israeli background, so you are not, in quotes, pure white. But were you surprised at the ferocity of those kind of attacks?
Calling me a racist was, I hate to say it, but thank God I'm Jewish, because otherwise I would have been called an anti-Semite too. I think that's part of the narrative that is perpetuated to discredit Republican candidates. Fortunately for me, like I said, I'm Israeli, I'm Jewish, so they couldn't call me an anti-Semite, but I wouldn't put it past them to try. And going in, we knew that there were going to be personal attacks. Calling me a racist was, the funniest of the attacks, because like you said, I'm a Yemenite Jew. It doesn't get much darker than being a Yemenite Jew. And most people don't even understand what a Yemenite Jew is, because, they don't know that there's Yemenite Jews unless you really study the history and understand that that we are definitely a minority in Israel and definitely a super minority in the United States.
And not only a minority in Israel, but at times over the decades, a picked on minority.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, second-class citizens, as it were, in the eyes of Ashkenazi Jews at the time.
Yep.
If you were going to advise somebody who was considering running for office, they had the money and the wherewithal, but not the experience of the courtroom, what would you say to them in terms of, how they should be prepared for what's going to come in any political race?
Emotionally prepared?
Yes.
One of the things that did surprise me, Sam, is that coming from the courtroom, everything rises and falls in a courtroom based on evidence and truth and veracity. I expected the same rules of engagement in politics. And when that didn't happen, it's almost like you don't have the ability to present truth and veracity unless you have absolutely millions of dollars. And, and we saw that even in Laxalt's race, he would say something, then, Masto would oppose it. And this is based on millions and millions of dollars. So that was something that I didn't expect, is the lack of truth and veracity. And, I know anti-SLAPP laws. I've litigated anti-SLAPP in the courtroom. But the extent is something that I was not prepared for. And that's something that I would tell a candidate is, there's no such thing as the most preposterous allegations against you.
I think that's very well said. Let's take another break and we'll be right back.
Oh, what fun it is to win during the $100,000 Christmas giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Up to $17,000 in cash and free play giveaways each week, and over $20,000 in giveaways on New Year's Eve, including up to $10,000 in cash. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Truck drivers are some of the hardest working people you'll meet, delivering over 70% of America's freight and 92% of Nevada's. When there's a natural disaster, they're delivering critical supplies to help those communities recover and rebuild. Every sector of the economy and our nation's military rely on truck drivers. So let's take a moment to say thank you. On the open road or city streets, our truck drivers are rolling to make our economy and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
Snorkel personnel lifts are engineered beyond the industry norm to an uncommon level of safety and durability, and with an eye towards sustainability. They're also designed to be simple to operate and maintain. Snorkel, always at the cutting edge of progress.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Sigal Chattah, the attorney who ran for Attorney General but did not make it in that race, but wanted to come on and discuss the post-election. So do you plan to run again for political office? Is this one and done? How do you feel?
I don't want to say never again. At this moment, that's not something that I'm focused on. I love being in the courtroom. Last time I was on your show, I said that, I'll probably die in front of a jury. That's my passion. That's my love. I'm a trial lawyer through and through. Without saying never at this time, probably not.
And so you're going to return to the courtroom. Are there plans for any specific things that you want to do?
Well, right now we are litigating remdesivir cases, wrongful death remdesivir cases. We are also taking on the school districts. There's a incessant amount of sexual abuse and hostility and everything. And everything that I promised to do from the public sector, I'm finding a way to do the same thing from the private sector.
Well, I thank you very much for coming on today to talk about the campaign. It was a tough campaign, but that's the way politics is. And we thank you for running, and we thank you for doing the program, and hope to have you back when some of these cases come up.
Thank you so much, Sam. It was great.
Thank you, and we'll be right back.
Ring in the holidays with $350,000 big holiday extravaganza at Carson Valley Inn. Over 1,000 winners. Weekly cash, free play, and up to $10K in cash every Saturday. And 2 grand prize drawings. Win up to $20,000 in cash. 'Tis the season for winning big at the Carson Valley Inn.
Take a look at Pro Group Management and see how your workers' comp requirements can be met head-on. By taking a proactive approach, Pro Group can assure that your company is meeting or exceeding state and federal standards. As you move forward in your industry, Pro Group moves with you, simplifying regulatory tasks, clearing the way so you can get the job done and look to your future success. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org. Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to CAANV.org.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Event Center sits at the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. 2 floors of meeting and event space are ideal for groups and conventions. Stay in one of 200 luxurious rooms and suites. Brand your event throughout the property. Flexible event spaces make for easy planning and personalization. Take over the entire hotel with a full buyout option.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at NevadaNewsmakers.com. See you on the next show.